Let me get this off my chest. I, 34M, feel like the biggest idiot in the world right now. A few weeks ago, I found out that my wife, 32F, cheated on me, with my best friend since high school. The guy I considered my brother. The same guy I helped get back on his feet after he lost his job last year. But let me give you the full story, because maybe then you'll understand just how deep this betrayal cuts. My wife and I have been together for 9 years, married for 6. We met at a 4th of July barbecue at a friend's place. She was charming, funny, and I fell fast. We built a life together. We have a 5-year-old daughter who means the world to me. I grew up poor. Trailer park poor. I worked my ass off to become a mechanical engineer, built up a solid career, and recently got promoted to a management position. Life was finally feeling stable. Around a year ago, my best friend Chris, 35M, hit a rough patch. He got laid off from his construction job and was evicted from his apartment. I offered him our guest room until he could get back on his feet. My wife wasn't thrilled, but she agreed, for 2 months max. Those 2 months turned into 8. Chris was always charming. He could talk anyone into anything. My daughter loved him, called him Uncle Chris. He'd make breakfast sometimes, help out around the house, and I truly thought he was grateful. Meanwhile, my wife had some credit card debt piling up. Nothing massive, around $7,000, but it stressed her out. So I paid it off. No questions asked. We're a team, right? Chris also had around $4,000 in medical bills. I covered that too. I didn't want him drowning. I believed in paying it forward. I was working long hours during this time, saving up for a Disney trip for our daughter. Some weeks I was pulling 60 to 70 hours. I missed dinner, bedtime stories, family weekends. I thought I was doing it for them. One night I came home early, sick with a migraine. I walked into the living room and saw Chris and my wife on the couch. Too close. Way too close. Her hand was on his thigh. They didn't see me at first. I confronted them. It was chaos. She cried. He said it just happened. She admitted it had been going on for a couple months. I kicked him out that night. She's staying with her sister right now. I filed for divorce last week. The worst part? She tried to gaslight me into believing it was my fault, that I was emotionally absent and always working. Yeah. I was working, to support the same household she was cheating in. Our daughter doesn't understand what's happening. She keeps asking where Mommy and Uncle Chris went. It breaks me. And now? I'm sitting in an empty house, trying to pick up the pieces of a life I thought was solid. To anyone reading this, don't ignore the little signs. Don't stretch yourself thin to carry people who wouldn't lift a finger for you. And for the love of God, trust your gut. So, a lot has happened since my last post. I want to say thank you to everyone who commented, messaged, or even just read my story. Honestly, your words meant more than you'll ever know. I was at my lowest. Still kind of am. But here's the update, and yeah, it's messy. After I filed for divorce, my soon-to-be ex-wife started blowing up my phone. At first, it was non-stop apologies and crying. Then it turned into guilt-tripping. Think of our daughter. You're breaking up our family. I made one mistake. One mistake. Nah. That wasn't a mistake. That was a series of decisions, made in my house, while I was out breaking my back for our family. Then it shifted into blame. She said I pushed her into it by being gone all the time. She said I left a hole that Chris just filled. No accountability. None. The final straw came when she suggested we go to couples counseling, with Chris. Let me say that again, she wanted the three of us to sit down and work through the pain together. I told her to lose my number. Then came the legal part. We started mediation last week. I came prepared, timeline of the affair, text messages I'd recovered, thanks to backup software, and screenshots from the Ring camera I'd forgotten was synced to my iPad. Yeah, turns out they weren't exactly discreet. They even kissed on our front porch one morning, while our daughter was inside watching Bluey. She tried to deny it at first. But once the lawyer saw the evidence, the tone changed real quick. The biggest gut punch. She's fighting for primary custody, claiming I'm too emotionally unstable after what happened. This is the same woman who brought a stranger, because that's what Chris is now, into my home and exposed our daughter to their affair. I'm not perfect. I've been angry, broken, sleep-deprived, borderline depressed. But I've shown up for my kid. Every day. I pack her lunches, read her bedtime stories, do her hair for kindergarten. I've kept my mess away from her. The court will decide soon. I'm hoping for at least 50-50. I'm not trying to take my daughter away from her mom, I just want to protect her from toxic patterns. I grew up watching my dad cheat on my mom. I know what that does to a kid. As for Chris, I haven't heard from him since I kicked him out. Word is, he's couch surfing. Good. I don't know what the future holds. But I'm starting therapy next week. I'm focusing on my daughter. I've reconnected with some college friends I hadn't talked to in years. I even signed up for a hiking group, something I never thought I'd do. Small steps. But I'll keep walking. It's been a wild, exhausting, heartbreaking ride, but I think I've finally reached the end of this chapter. The custody hearing was last Friday. My ex-wife showed up looking like she hadn't slept in days. Her lawyer tried to paint this picture of me as a cold, distant, emotionally unavailable workaholic. They brought up the fact that I'd been in therapy. As if that was a bad thing. But my lawyer? She came prepared like a damn warrior. We presented the timeline of the affair, screenshots of the texts, and Ring footage. We even had statements from 2 neighbors who saw Chris coming and going at suspicious hours. Most importantly, I had my parenting record. Perfect attendance at school pickups. Notes from her teacher saying how engaged I was. Photos and videos from weekends together. I told the judge, plainly. I'm not trying to take my daughter away from her mother. But I will do whatever it takes to protect her from unstable, toxic behavior. My ex broke down crying when the judge awarded me primary custody, with her getting supervised weekend visits for 6 months. She tried to argue, saying I was turning our daughter against her. But our daughter's therapist testified that the little one was confused and stressed every time Chris was around, and that she showed signs of emotional discomfort at her mom's house. After the hearing, my ex tried to corner me in the hallway. She said, "This isn't fair. You're ruining everything. I don't even talk to Chris anymore." Wait, what? Turns out, the fairy tale she tried to build with him imploded. He cheated on her barely 2 months after moving in together. She caught him in bed with some girl from his new job. Poetic justice, I guess. Now she's living alone in a 1-bedroom apartment, working part-time at a daycare, and begging me to give her another chance, for the sake of the family. I didn't even answer. I don't hate her. I don't have the energy to. I just feel numb. Like I finally let go of something that was already broken. Chris. No one's seen him in weeks. He blocked me on everything, and I heard he got fired again. I don't care. He's dead to me. As for me, I'm still healing. But there's light now. I spend weekends hiking with my daughter. We had our postponed Disney trip last month, just the 2 of us. She called it the best adventure ever. I'm not looking for love right now. I'm focusing on being the best father I can be. And honestly, that's enough. To anyone reading this who's going through something similar. It gets better. Slowly. Painfully. But it does. It's been 3 months since the final custody hearing. Life's been peaceful. Quiet. Healing. Our daughter is thriving. She's made new friends, started taking piano lessons, and recently told me she wants to be a teacher astronaut princess. I said she can be anything she wants. Even all 3. Therapy's been working too. I've been sleeping again. I stopped waking up angry. I started smiling for real, not just faking it for my kid. Then, last Saturday morning, she showed up. It was raining. I was in sweatpants, making pancakes with my daughter. I heard a knock, opened the door, and there she was. My ex-wife. Soaked, no umbrella, holding a crumpled grocery bag in a manila folder. She looked tired. Not the broken, desperate mess I saw at court. But something deeper. Like someone who finally saw the wreckage they caused. I told my daughter to go upstairs. She did, thankfully without questions. Then I just stood there and said, "What do you want?" She didn't yell. She didn't cry. She just handed me the folder and said, "I don't deserve your time. I just needed to give you this and say something." Inside the folder, a handwritten letter. 8 pages long. Her words. Her truths. No excuses this time. She wrote about how she never healed from her own childhood. How she always measured her worth through attention and validation. How she mistook comfort for neglect when I was working late. And how losing her family, really losing it, cracked something inside her. She didn't ask me to forgive her. Not once. At the bottom of the last page, she wrote, "I will never be the wife you deserved. But I will spend the rest of my life being the best mother I can, if you'll let me." She then handed me the grocery bag. Inside was a stuffed animal, an old, worn-out giraffe my daughter lost over a year ago. Apparently, she found it while moving out of her apartment. She smiled, barely, and turned to walk away. I didn't stop her. I didn't invite her in. I just stood there, holding that dumb giraffe, thinking how weird life is. How some things you think are lost, come back when you least expect them. I don't know what her future looks like. But I believe, for the first time, that maybe she's really trying. Not for me. Not for us. But for our daughter. And that's enough. I'm not reopening old wounds. I'm not giving second chances. But I'm also not holding on to poison anymore. Hate is too heavy to carry every day. So I let go. I still keep the giraffe by my daughter's bed.